It's all right. I'm coming.
It was a crazy drunken dream, and yet it was more than that. It was the truth, a suppressed memory unearthed by the Andersons' Moonshine. I was there, an out-of-body observer. This was the night Alice and I had arrived at Bright Falls, the night Alice had disappeared. I had a chance to find out what had happened.
Hey, what's up, you beautiful people? I'm your host, the one and only Danger Dave, and welcome back to Alan Wake Remastered. Now, before we go ahead and get started, I'm going to take a...
Beyond this lost memory, there was nothing. I had to follow the footsteps of my past self to find out what had happened that night.
Thank you for that, Alan. Before we get started, I'm going to take a sip of beer for the hard-working man. I always like to enjoy a cold one after work. Seriously, guys, if you like beer, check out Iron Maiden's beer. They do not make a bad beer. Every single one of them is delicious. But now we are here in this crazy drunken dream. And like Alan Wake said, the moonshine that he drank from the Anderson farm is not just to get you drunk. I mean, Alan Wake is going to wake up with one hell of a hangover after all of this. But if you are a creator, it will allow you to see things that you may have forgotten. Because the waters of Cauldron Lake are special, and Anderson's moonshine is made from the water of Cauldron Lake, so that's why all of this is possible. I can't imagine what, like, a YouTuber would happen if he came to, like, Cauldron Lake and started making YouTube videos, but all that shit start to come true. That's a terrifying thought. Apparently, this is the vehicle's top speed.
I remembered being surprised to see the cabin dark. Alice would have never turned the lights off.
Alice? Alice!
I remembered thinking I caught a glimpse of her form underwater, sinking into the darkness. Diving after her was the last vague memory I had of that night. After that, the next thing I could remember was waking up behind the wheel of the crashed car and finding the first pages of the manuscript. I couldn't find her in all that blackness. I must have thought she drowned.
Alice!
Jagger had Alice, and so she had me.
Alice!
I'd been easy prey.
Look at the cabin. Is there someone in the window?
Alice?
Maybe she didn't drown after all. Maybe she's inside.
Alice!
Yes.
The dark presence had touched me. She had dug her nails into my brain and used me, made me her puppet.
She must be here somewhere. Maybe upstairs in the study.
Alice!
Yes, that's where she is. You can apologize.
Alice!
You'll laugh at the whole thing together and put it behind you.
Alice?
She's not here. You were foolish to think so. No, she's dead. She drowned.
No, no, no!
It's your fault your wife is dead. You are guilty. All she wanted was to help you right. You killed her. Oh, hush. There's still hope. Cauldron Lake is a special place. Here, you have the power to change things. She wanted you to write. I will tell you what to do. You can write her back. The story will come true, and all will be well again.
She had Alice, and the manuscript was the ransom for her. Yes. All right. I'll fix it. I'll bring her back. No. I wrote it. I remembered it all now. In the dark, I'd written for days, a week, almost a complete manuscript of a novel entitled Departure. Jagger had been my editor, whispering in my ear, making sure that the unfolding story would make her more and more powerful. I thought I was saving Alice. Even with the cobwebs she put in my head, some part of me had been aware enough to write my escape into the story, to bring a light into the cabin to release me before I could finish, to interrupt the horror story before the ending, where darkness consumed everything and everyone. Zane was weak and far away, but I had written him into the story, and his light had been enough to set me free.
It isn't here now. I'm here because it was written. I brought the light to set you free. You must hurry. It will know I'm here. It will be back soon. It stole the skin of my Barbara a long time ago. She looks so old.
I'd woken up, confused and groggy, my mind consumed by darkness and fear. All I could do was to escape. The week spent in the cabin had taken its toll. I was barely conscious and fading fast. It had to have cost Zane terribly, thrown him even deeper into whatever dark place he now haunted. But he had managed to weaken the dark presence, kept me safe that night. I wrote it. It's my fault.
That's right, James Joyce. It's your fault, and you're gonna pay for it.
There's an altar wrought with mystery of Tom the poet and his muse, and a magic lake which gave a light to the words the poet used. Now the muse she was his happiness, and he rhymed about her grace, and told the stories of treasures deep beneath the blackened waves. Till in the stillness of wonder, and still in its misty crown, the muse she went down to the lake, and in the waves she drowned. And now to see your love set free, you will need the witch's cabin key. Find the lady of the light, gone mad with the night. That's how you reshape destiny. The poet came down to the lake to call out to his dear. When there was no answer, he was overcome with fear. He searched in vain for his treasure lost, and too soon the night would fall, and only his own echo would wail back as his call. And when he swore to bring back his love by stories he'd create, nightmares shifted in their sleep in the darkness of the lake. And now to see your love set free, you will need the witch's cabin key. them both to silence deep beneath the lake. Now if it's real or just a dream, one mystery remains, for it is said on moonless nights they may still haunt this place. That's how you reshape destiny. And now to see your love set free, you will need the witch's cabin key. Find the lady of the light still raving in the night. That's how you reshape destiny.
Yes button for
All the
details.
manuscript pages were gone. The FBI agent had taken them.
I think my tongue just took a crap in my mouth. Ugh. Oh, wait, we're in jail now? Al. Al, this is not good.
That about sums it up.
Oh, I am never drinking again.
I need to talk to Weaver. She's the one in the song. The Lady of the Light.
What, the crazy lady? Ugh, whatever you say, Al, but we're stuck here. They're not
You haven't even
gonna...
interviewed Wake.
I had some reading to do first, Sheriff, and let me tell you, it was an interesting read. Well, I've got you now, Raymond Chandler. It's all here. All the evidence, including conspiracy to murder a federal agent. There's no way you're walking out of here. You hear me in there, Bret Easton Ellis? Huh?
Agent Nightingale, I want to talk to your superior.
Well, we all want things, Sheriff. I wanted my... Look, that's not possible right now.
Agent Nightingale, I insist. Wake, what's wrong?
Lady, are you stupid? It's a trick. It's an obvious trick.
Okay, I've had enough of this crap. Wake, I'm gonna trust you with this.
You're joking.
Agent Nightingale, your opinion would matter more if you were sober and if I actually believed you were here on official business.
Whoa! Get back in the cell, Stephen King. The only way you're leaving this place is over my dead... Wait a minute. I know this...
Bye-bye, jackass!
Oh my god!
Light. We need light. It's the only way to fight this thing.
In my office. I've got your things there. Follow me.
Hold on, we got...
Oh, man. We're sitting ducks with the lights out.
Yeah, I know. Serves him right. He was a jackass. Didn't like him. Here we go. Nightingale reads the manuscript page. That already happened.
Nightingale tried to make sense of the manuscript. It was disjointed and strange. He didn't understand half of it, but it all rang true. Impossibly true. He took out his hip flask when he reached the page that described how he reached the page that made him take out his hip flask. It wasn't the booze that made his mind reel.
Man, imagine that. Like, you read a page about a thing that you're already doing. That would be some fucking Twilight Zone shit right there.
Stay cool. I can get the emergency power on.
Cool. Nightingale attacked by the dark presence. Finally.
Nightingale felt the situation veering out of his control, but the gun at least felt steady in his hands. He was ready to fire, resolved that he would let this happen over his dead body. And yet he hesitated. He had seen this moment before, read it in the page. He was transfixed by the deja vu and the horror that he was a character in a story someone had written. Then the monstrous presence burst in behind him and dragged him into the night.
Okay, so I'm actually going to talk a little bit about this right here because I didn't think about this until after like 3 playthroughs or so. In fact, not even that. I didn't even start thinking about this until just recently. It caught my mind on Control. We'll talk about Control later. I keep teasing you guys about that, but we will. We will. Trust me, when we get to the Alan Wake DLC. But there are certain characters that Alan Wake definitely met when he got to Bright Falls, right? He never met Agent Nightingale. He never even knew about Agent Nightingale. So where did Agent Nightingale come from? Agent Nightingale never existed. This is my theory. Since the story that Alan Wake wrote is coming true, that means characters that he writes into that story become real. Alan Wake created Agent Nightingale. He never existed until this story departure happened when he wrote it, and the whole thing came true. Nightingale is a product of this story. Alan Wake created him, and there's going to be more evidence of that in Control in the Alan Wake DLC. If you know, you know. My theory is the more Alan Wake writes and creates stuff, like what kind of effect does that have on reality? You know, like, holy fuck, man. Like, think about that. Like, he's creating people. You know, they just appear because the story demands it. Look at Zane. You know, Zane was far away, but he came to the cabin because Alan Wake wrote it into the story, and thus it became true. So, a lot of these characters that Alan Wake never met before became true. Even Mott. You know, he never met Mott. Oh, I mean, no, actually, well, you could totally miss Mott in the beginning of the game, because he's actually there on the boat. But, you know, there's a lot of characters that you can look at and go, how did he know about these characters? Where did they come from? And it's heavily suggested that he's kind of creating these characters. And my kind of theory about that is, what effect, if any, does that have on reality? You know, like, is there somewhere where people are policing reality? And if not, like, holy fuck, like, you could totally bend the entire world to your will, which is what the Dark Presence is wanting to do with writers, because it can't do it itself. It needs somebody to do it for them. They can't do it themselves. So that's really interesting that I thought about. I was like, man, he's mucking with reality and creating people and stuff. And just imagine how distraught you would be if you, like, read a book or a manuscript page and realized you didn't exist until someone wrote it. All the problems in your life, the reason Nightingale is a drunk is because Alan Wake wrote him as a drunk. You know, just imagine that for a second. Like, you read a manuscript page and you realize all the problems and troubles in your life are not your own fault because somebody wrote it to be that way. That's scary. Like, that's nightmare-inducing. Like, holy fuck, I would hate that. I would hate the person who wrote it that way. You know, I understand he's trying to get his way out of darkness and save his wife, but, like, man, you're messing with people's livelihood. People that you just created. You know, you're kind of like, you know, playing God here almost, and just kind of creating characters for your own gain. Like, it's kind of weird. The more you think about it, it's kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, let's get to Sheriff Breaker. Her office is where we need to be. Is there anything in here? Flare. Give me that. Oh, and there's another flare. Give me that nonsense. Can I get some coffee? I woke up from a bad hangover, or from a bad night of drinking. I need some coffee to set my head straight. Oh God, there's nothing but darkness now. Okay, here we go. Anything back here? Delicious coffee! The perfect thing for a cure for a hangover. In fact, prairie oysters are actually the thing for hangovers. But I'll take the coffee. That will definitely help the hangover. At least a little bit. Ah! Let there be light!
Here are your things. Wake, what do I need to know? What do you need from me?
They can be hurt in the light, only in the light. And I need to find Cynthia Weaver. She can help me stop this.
Light. Check. Cynthia. She lives in the old decommissioned power plant. I can get you there pretty quickly in the rescue chopper. Come on, let's get back to your friend.
Okay, now I have all my stuff. I am actually gonna,
Wheeler, I need you to
hang on. I am actually going to call it a part right here just so things don't go on too long. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, if you like this episode, as always, you know what you gotta do. I love you, beautiful people, and I will see you at the next episode of Alan Wake.